right. Hey there, James McGrath. Hey, everybody.
Andy, how you doing? Another episode of the Curb Canyons.
Hey, look at us. Momentum, right? We said it. This is 3 in a row. We're smashing them out.
That's right. I'm impressed. We've got extra energy. We've got, commitment to our craft. Let's do it. Let's just crank these out. Whether they're good or not, I don't know.
Actually, just on that, though, yeah, although I'll probably take a holiday now, I think.
Well, you are. You got like 2 weeks to Tassie.
2 weeks to Tassie. 2 weeks. The countdown is on. It's on, my friend. So excited.
So I was listening to last week's podcast in the car the other day, just because, that's what I do.
No, you weren't.
Narcissistic like that.
No, you weren't, because last week's podcast was Rick from Rico Customs.
All right, 2 weeks ago. Whatever.
Which you weren't there for.
I know.
Slack.
Failing miserably.
Slack.
But anyway, you're talking about the Tassie trip, and I've got to say, I just can't stop giggling when you start talking about your mates, because it's like something out of a Australian soap opera. It's like nobody has a real name. Everybody has there's Bozza and Wazza and Chopper and Philly and Dilly and Gonzo and Bonzo. I'm just trying to
the
keep
Muppets, mate.
You sound like it. Honestly, sometimes you sound like it. The only way I keep it straight.
The only name that you said then that sounds remotely like anyone is we have Phil.
Yeah.
Other than that, everyone else just sounds like the cast of the Muppets. What are you on?
No. So you've got Alan, and you always clarify that by saying at Flat Six Affair. But everyone else is like Chopper, Wonzo, Gonzo. Come on, tell me, who are the people going on this trip with you? Let's hear it.
Okay, well, I'm not going to do the whole list because I definitely won't remember everyone. And the thing is, the first name I say may play ever so slightly to this little narrative that you're setting up. Rocco. We've got Lucas, we've got Philby, we've got PJ, we've got Daz.
Hold on. Philby, PJ, Daz. Okay, that's a nice hat trick for you right there. Good lads.
Well, see, Philby's really Phil, and Daz is short for Darren.
I'm going to stop you right there because, I'm glad that you started off with at least Rocco, because I was expecting...
Oh, Kale and Pat.
Well, seriously, Kale?
And Dale? Oh, Dale just bought a GT4. Yeah, we've got Kale and Dale.
Kale and Dale.
Yeah, they're a country duo.
You've got half of the Rescue Rangers and somebody named after a vegetable. I'm just going to stop it there. Fantastic. All right. So, Andy, what are we here to talk about today?
Well, here we're first to say, welcome to Curb Canyon.
I'd just like to say I'm apologising to all of the Australians that I've just offended, particularly Andy's friends in that opening segment. But I just got to say, it's a combination of your accent and the names that just make me giggle, especially when you're going to Tassie instead of Tasmania. Anyway, Andy, what are we here to talk about today?
All right, so a couple things. We're going to bang a show today. It's absolutely full. We're going back to F1, believe it or not. We're going to talk about the new Carrera T. Very excited.
Oh.
And then we've got a segment where you and I are going to rate our top 5 drivers of all time. And we've actually had some input from our listeners, which has been amazing. And we're going to hear about some of their best drivers of all time as well, which is going to be unreal.
I'm excited, particularly about the Carrera T. I'll be honest with you, not so much about Formula One, unless you've got something super exciting to tell me, like Porsche are back in, having decided they were in and then they're out, and then they're in, then they're out.
Okay, well, let's jump into F1 then. So just when we thought the F1 Porsche talk was done and dusted, according to online F1 outlet F1 Briefings, and quote, Porsche are rumoured to be in the final stages of negotiating a deal to get into Formula One by buying 50% of the Williams racing team. So this will kick off in 2026. And I think at that point, F1 is set to move to fully sustainable fuels. And obviously, Porsche's been really heavily involved in that. I don't know. The Porsche F1 thing, shit'll get off the pot, man.
Yeah, all right. But so when we were talking about Red Bull, and maybe I was being a bit of a snob, and maybe I was just being a bit dense, but I wasn't massively excited about it. But if we're talking about Williams, I mean, that's an established.
The palm starts to.
That's a name, right? It's heritage. It's history. Let's do that. That's
it's the slowest two cars on the grid, is what it is.
I don't care about that. Porsche will stick their own engine on it, whip it around, win it.
You know who used to drive for them though?
Dennis Villeneuve.
Man, Dennis.
I know he did. Right before he got into his Hollywood directorial career.
But I mean, look, I've seen some commentary around why the Red Bull deal fell over, and it sounds as though Porsche wanted too much ownership and input and influence within Red Bull, and that kind of culturally those two businesses don't really align. And to be honest, I don't think it was a great marriage, the idea of Red Bull and Porsche. I actually think culturally they are very different organizations. I do feel like a team like Williams could benefit from the financial input that they're going to get from Porsche, because Williams have struggled for years on that basis, and B, that technical input and support. So it could actually be a good mix.
I'm excited again now. I am. That's good. Let's explore Williams. Let's not talk about Red Bull anymore, because to me that was like slapping a Justin Bieber bobblehead on the dashboard of your Cayenne and calling it a race car. Not interested.
Red Bull are dominating, right?
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if Monster energy drinks are the best-selling soda pop these days. I'm still going to want my classic Coca-Cola in the bottle with the curves. I'm a brand guy,
I'm not talking about Red Bull dominating the drinks market.
I know that.
F1.
I know that. I know.
Oh my God.
All right, look. So let's move on. Let's talk about the thing that is actually really exciting, which is the Carrera T. Are you surprised?
Carrera T.
Are you surprised by the way
that
they came out with the Carrera? Yeah. Because they really.
Well, it's interesting though, isn't it? Because the 991 Carrera T is a bit of an odd one in that when it was released, it was met with some ambivalence, I think, because there was excitement of, there's a new lightweight 911, amazing. And then, most of the reviews were like, it's not that much lighter and it's basically just a Carrera. And then when you see most of them for sale, the thing that I always laugh about is that it's usually they're usually spec'd with PDK, sunroof, rear seats have been put back in, and so the whole ethos of the Carrera T is lost. But I actually feel like with a bit of hindsight and a bit of time, that car has come into its own a bit. And if you can find a well-spec'd manual, I think those cars are seen as a good thing. Hence why I think there's a lot of positivity around this new one.
Okay. So I really hadn't heard too much about the Carrera T before it was reintroduced in the 991 generation. But from what I understand, that was the first time it had come back since the 70s, right? When the
911, the T, the 911 T. So you got the S, the T, the E, the L,
right.
Yeah, and the T was sort of your basic entry level 911.
But but it was a vintage kind of concept that was reintroduced in the modern era, sort of what the 911R did, right, with the first generation 991. That was huge, and that one's what they only made so many of them. You can't find them less than $500,000 US right now, I think, on the market. I thought when they introduced the T that it was going to be that kind of a big deal, and that it would maybe just be introduced only for the second 991 generation, and it wouldn't come out again for another 10, 15, 20 years or more. But to have it come out straight away, almost like it's like every other submodel that we can expect now on a regular basis. Has that taken the sort of surprise and mystique out of it a little bit?
Yeah, look, I don't think it doesn't have that same mystique as something like the R, because it doesn't have the. I mean, the R had the GT3 engine in it, whereas this has a bog standard Carrera engine in it. It's a different philosophy, right? It's almost like, hey, how do we make the 911? I don't want to say affordable because it's not, but how do we do a kind of stripped back enthusiast's version of the standard 911? So the idea that you can get a Carrera but with manual gearbox, with these sports seats, with rear seat delete, with PASM, with limited slip diff, sports exhaust.
Yeah.
It's actually a really just a good spec. It is lighter. It's only 45 kilograms lighter, which isn't, I don't think that's a huge deal. I don't think that, I guess it's half a tank of petrol, so maybe you notice it, maybe you wouldn't. But, and that's thanks to thinner glass and less soundproofing. So even that's kind of cool. It means it's, again, from an enthusiast perspective, it's going to be a bit louder, a bit more fun on the road. Mind you, I mean, I think with this current generation of 911s, road noise in the cabin ain't much chop. So you can certainly notice that. I don't know. It's funny because everybody I know who has been talking about it is nodding along saying, yep, this is a good thing. And I'm glad they've continued to offer it as a concept because I think there's some merit to it for the enthusiast.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I think power-wise, it's impressive for, it's the price. You get the options that, that sort of make the slightly fancier models kind of stand out. You can get the sports chrono, which, I'm big for. You can pick all of the fancy colors if you want.
Yeah.
But it's still nowhere near as fast as a GTS. I think it's what 0 to 60 in 4.3 4.5.
Yeah.
Okay, and the GTS.
I think that's for the manual.
Yeah, 7-speed manual though. I don't think I've ever driven a 7-speed manual. Have you?
No, I haven't. And my GT4 is a 6-speed, and it's funny how even for me that extra ratio is. I sometimes sort of forget it's there because I've only ever had 5-speed cars. So yeah, that's something you'd need to get used to.
Yeah.
But I think, do you know what I think it is? What I like about it is I think it is the enthusiast's 911 for the person that doesn't have the budget for a GT3 or even a GTS. It says, do you know what? I didn't just go and buy a Carrera or a Carrera S like, every other dentist. I'm actually a driving enthusiast. I want a driver's car. And my budget means I can afford this one. And, maybe the straight line speed, the 0 to 62, et cetera, is not up to where, what you'd experience in a GTS. But it sounds like, from just an engagement perspective and enjoyment perspective, it sounds like it's a good mix of spec that would be, a hell of a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I think so.
I can see you in one of these, if I'm honest.
You know what? It's funny you should say that because I've actually just been recently looking at used 991.2 Carrera Ts. Because for all of the things that you've just said, it's not just a Carrera, and I would like quite literally just repeat everything you've just said. I'm really interested in it. To be honest though, maybe if we take price out of the equation, I think I would prefer the 991 Carrera T over the 992 Carrera T. Is that you're silly?
Interesting.
Absolutely not. Have there been any major advancements, like technically and mechanically, from this half a generation up? I don't think so.
Well, I mean, yeah, but the 992 is it's a new generation of 911. So you're getting that benefit. It's not like you're going from a .1 to a .2. You are going from the second iteration of the last generation into the entirely new generations. So it's a vastly different car, vastly different interior, chassis, everything. It's bigger. There's all sorts of stuff. That said, I think there's a lot to be said for a 991.2 Carrera T. What is the market like for those in the US?
Well, I actually see them around quite a lot. So I think there's a big opportunity here in the US. And you look at the price difference. I think over here in the US, the base Carrera starts at $106,000 or $107,000, and the Carrera T is just a flat $10,000 up from that. Now you're getting the same horsepower, 379. You're getting similar 0 to 60. And you're getting a similar top speed. You're right. It is. It's the slip diff. It's the lighter weight. This, that, and the other. That are sort of setting it apart. But previously, like the difference between a 911 and a 911S was about $10,000 to $15,000. So I'm a little surprised that you don't get anything performance wise. You maybe expect like an extra maybe 10, 15 horses. But again,
I think that goes to the ethos of the car, which is it's add lightness, right? The whole concept of it is let's make a lighter car, and with that comes the performance.
Yeah.
Now, in practical terms, it's not that much lighter. I mean, what's interesting in the Australian market is that, the premium you would pay here for a used T is somewhere in the order of $30,000 to $40,000 as I scroll car sales right now.
Oh, right. Oh, I'm sorry. You're asking about the used cars market. Yeah, I would say from what I remember, there is a premium over here as well. I think the cheapest Ts I was looking at were about 120. With maybe 10, 15,000 on the clock. So they've held their value over the last couple of years.
Yeah, and it's funny because here, I mean, just jumping sideways a little bit, the GTS over here, for used GTSs, they're sort of GT3 money.
Yeah.
GTS pricing's really strange in this market. Mind you, I've just found a really nice white 911. The dangers of searching car sales.
I know, right? Yeah, that's really dangerous. What doesn't help is the friends that sort of send you the links to the cars that they think you're interested in. I swear to God, at the moment, my friend Chris is trying to pay me back for all of the links to carbon fiber products that I've sent him, and he's now pulled the trigger on for his 911 Turbo. I think I've added about 10 grand of carbon fiber to his car just by positive reinforcement and suggestion. So I think he's trying to get his own back because he's been sending me these absolutely stunning 997.2 GT3s, 997.1 GT3 RS. The other day he sent me a link to I think it was actually a Carrera T, and it was quite possibly the perfect auto amateur spec. It was
right.
Red deviated stitching. It was, and the gauge faces and the brake calipers. It had
but
carbon
then you'd have
fiber.
nothing to do.
Oh, I'm sure I could find something to do. I'd stick a whale tail on the back of it or something. I don't know.
Do you think there's something in that? Do you think there's something in the thing that if we all lived in our own little bubble and weren't really involved in the Porsche community, and particularly didn't have Porsche friends, that we wouldn't be constantly updating, upgrading, buying things? We'd just be happy with what we had and leave it at that?
Oh, you know what, mate? I think about that all the time. And I'd like to think yes, but at the same time, when with my first couple of cars, I was still doing I've been doing this stuff ever since I, first got hold of my 1990 Ford Fiesta. And when I had my first 911, I was still tinkering and thinking about how I could sort of add this or change this to make it completely mine. And I didn't have any Porsche friends at the time. I didn't go for driving with anyone with cars. I was the only guy that had a Porsche, basically, as far as I was concerned at that time. And I still wanted to do it. I mean, do I do it more now? Yeah, definitely. But I think it's more just because the volume of suggestions I get from people on, like, dude, every day I get people sending me links to carbon fiber products and to, leather this and stitching that on. And it's like, whether it's Instagram or YouTube or it's, on TikTok or whatever, people are out there constantly like pointing to things that I should be doing, quote unquote, should be doing to my car. So yeah, I get, it's a numbers game, isn't it? If I get 10 suggestions, I'll do 1. If I get 100 suggestions, I'll do 10.
You'll do 10. What's funny, because, when I got my 964, I mean, that car to me was what had always been my dream spec, a 964 on Cup 1s. So as far as I was concerned, it was the perfect car, done, dusted, never touch it.
Yeah.
And then, through Instagram, through YouTube, I started seeing great builds, particularly from California with BBS rims and all this other stuff. And you can't help but be influenced by that and begin to go down the rabbit hole. And then, this is an interesting one. On our upcoming trip to Tasmania, aka Tassie, there will be 6 GT4s in attendance. Now, up until 5 months ago, there was only one GT4 in our group, but there's been this. We've kind of single-handedly pushed GT4 values in this market, because we've all there's been this snowball effect of everyone sort of egging each other on. There's a WhatsApp group devoted to it. And so it's just been this gradual thing of everybody, but every GT4 that comes up, when it gets sold, a message goes around on WhatsApp. Okay, who bought it? Because
that's so funny.
We've just been clearing this country out of GT4s.
Yeah,
and I think to myself, would I have bought a GT4 if I didn't have that? Go on, do it. The little voices on my shoulders, which is actually all of my friends.
Yeah, I don't know. But hey, I mean, that's just it's common now. You're gonna have to think about what else you're gonna get. You're gonna have to just ship that on.
Dude, no shit. I had a brief moment where I thought, do you know what? I'm going to take the 964 to Tasmania, because the GT4, there's just too many of them. I'm just going to blend in with everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, the last thing I ever wanted was the same car as everybody else. It's killing me.
Yeah. Oh, mate. That's just harsh. That's harsh.
As we all say to Alan from Plat 6 Affair, might as well have bought a silver 996 and been done with it.
Good lad. Yeah, I'm proud of him. Good lad. Well, so talking about cars, of course, let's move on to our big segment of the pod. Let's talk about our favorite drives, our favorite moments.
Yeah, we're going to count down, each of us, our top 5 drive moments of all time. But we did actually put this to the listeners to get their input as well. So, James, this week we put the call out to our listeners to provide us with their greatest drives they've ever had, the greatest moments they've ever had. And you and I are actually going to count down our top 5, which I think is going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to hearing about you, driving to the local mall and stuff. I think it's going to be great. Anyway, we did have input from someone rather well known who suggested that perhaps they jump on the pod with us and tell us about their drive rather than just relaying it via Instagram, which I'm pretty excited about. So we've got joining us. Well, to be fair, they're probably someone who is going to just hop on here and want to talk about and plug their own podcast, because they're known for plugging their podcast on other people's pods. It is none other than our friend from Werks Radio, Mr. Andy Brookes.
Hooray!
Good day, chaps. Hey. Yes, I'm on here to absolutely blast you with Werks Radio.
Cue applause.
We've already heard it once. Mate, I've got to say, I'm so excited to have you on. When Australian Andy said, let's get this Andy on from Werks Radio. First off, super excited. Second, I was like, do you reckon we can get his missus on so that she can maybe do as an opening segment, now that we've figured out that it's your lovely wife that does the intro for your pod? Where is she?
Yeah,
where's the talent?
Yeah.
Well, She's upstairs. She's upstairs. The talent's upstairs. She's working at the moment. I did play her that little segment off your podcast earlier today.
Oh, did you?
And she was chuckling. Yeah. She was like, "Oh, shall I come on?" No, I'm feeling a bit embarrassed. So.
Would have been so nice to meet her.
I've got her a script. It's going to be welcome to the world #1 Porsche-related podcast that's even better than Werks Radio. I think that would work just right.
Andy, I did chuckle at your luft. Well, some might call it an interruption. I just love the way Spike was like, "Sir, no, sir, you're not here to plug your podcast, sir."
It's amazing how many messages I've had from Americans actually who apologise for Spike's actions. They thought it was quite rude. I was like, well.
Oh, really?
I can't quite get where he was coming from, to be honest. I was there absolutely jumping on it and, just spilling it off. So, yeah, there you go.
Do you know what, though? As an aside, I did think it was interesting that I feel like some of the American podcasts live in their own bubble a little bit with respect to other podcasts that are going on and are completely unaware of them.
Yeah. Let's not turn this into trash talking, but I've had a run-in with a certain, let's say, extra enthusiastic mechanic garage YouTube channel with a blue logo run by a guy with OCD. If you know what I'm talking about. Obsessed Garage.
Yeah.
Obsessed Garage. I absolutely love Matt Morman and I love Obsessed Garage. I buy his products and I wear his t-shirts sometimes on my videos. Well, I haven't actually in a while, to be fair, because I only ever wear the same t-shirt. But I've been having my posts removed from their Facebook group, and sometimes I've like posted photos of some of the jobs that I've done in my garage, and I haven't been posting as Auto Amateur. I've been posting as James McGrath, and one of them got took down saying only quality content is what we're expecting in this forum. It's like, what? People are posting saying, can somebody tell me what type of hose I need to buy for my car? Like, and then they get 100 responses. And then I put something in saying, hey, look what I just did with my Porsche in my garage. And like, oh no, that's crap. Let's just take that down. And I've had videos taken down, and I've given up. It's like they're just, maybe I'm not cool enough, good enough, smart enough, or maybe they think I'm trying to plug Auto Amateur on. But I've had there are some precious content creators out there. I couldn't care less.
James, do you have any other real world problems we can talk about with our guest?
Jesus. I do. Yeah, I do. Let's go for it. But Andy, tell us more about the Spike incident.
Oh wow! Just they were asking for people to go up and ask questions. I teed one up to make sure that I did get up there and get in the content. Yeah. And I was the only one to go up. So.
Do you know, so a couple of observations from me. One is I do like that you gave two plugs. You plugged yourself on Instagram, then Werks Radio. Impressive effort. Yeah. But two, wasn't your question something along the lines of how does one have a successful podcast? I think if anyone was due to ask that question, it's James and I, not you guys. You guys seem to be running a pretty good shop over there.
We're doing all right. Yeah, not bad.
All right. So, Andy, over to the most important part of the proceedings. Tell us about this drive you took. It sounds somewhat epic.
Yeah, it was a bit of a one-liner that I gave you, wasn't it? Which was, what did I say? It was driving down the Col de Torini in a 100-pound Audi chasing an ambulance. That's quite a good headline, isn't it?
Clickbait, if I've ever read it.
Yeah. So yeah, we would. There was me and three mates. We were doing a banger rally across Europe, and this segment was down from.
Whoa! Hold up! What's a banger rally? What's a banger rally?
So
I mean, obviously no, but just for James's benefit.
Yeah. Old cars. So these.
Hey, wait a minute. So yeah, I'm English. You're the Australian. You're the odd one out here.
I thought you'd turned full American there, James.
Oh my God.
So yeah, we had to. We bought a car for £100, and that was the maximum you could spend. This was quite a few years ago. This was back in 2006. So yeah, nearly 16 years ago. God, it seems mad that you could buy cars for £100 then. And we bought this Audi 100 CS Avant Quattro. So yeah, quite
Sounds pretty
cool old car, really. Yeah, the old real sort of aerodynamic shape one. You know, the first Audi 100, not the first one. I think the second series. But yeah, we hopped it up a little bit. We put some stripes on it, put new brakes on it and tyres, made it safe. But we were doing this banger rally across Europe, and there was this segment that was between Turin down to Monte Carlo. So amazing road, the Col de Turini. I don't know if you did you watch that video that I did a bit of spread the love for?
Because I would have had to listen to your podcast to do that.
So yeah, Henry Catchpole is driven down this road by, I can't remember his name now. He's a French rally driver.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I have seen it though. It's amazing,
epic. So that bit of road is amazing. But go and watch that video. If nobody's watched it yet, go and see it because it's just amazing.
It is. It's unreal.
Yeah. So we were heading down the Col, and we were stuck behind, I don't know, about 4 or 5 cars. There was like your typical Renault Berlingo or Citroen Berlingo.
Oh, aye.
Sort of van, people move thing. There was probably a Citroen 2CV, a few other French shitters that were trying to get down the mountain. And we were stuck behind them. We'd been behind them for sort of 5-10 minutes. And then this ambulance came screaming up behind us. Lights blaring, sirens blaring, the full Monty going. So we all pulled off. Like there was about 4 or 5 cars in front of us. We all pulled off to the side to let the ambulance go past. And my mate in the navigation seat just shouted, "Use it!"
Yep.
And that was like a rigged rag to a bull. So I was straight on it and overtook the line of cars, and then we chased this ambulance down the Col de Turini.
Amazing.
And we stuck to its arse for, I reckon it was about 40-45 minutes.
Wow.
And this guy was hammering it. He knew the road.
Yeah.
And it was just, I just want to go back to that road. Somewhere, I'm sure I've got a really grainy video of when we're just sort of getting down towards the end, and my mate's giving it a bit of a commentary on the road. But, there we go.
That video has to find its way to Instagram. Isn't it funny? Because I think everyone's tried to surf the wake of an ambulance from time to time, but usually that's just cutting through traffic. To actually get one that's going to cut a swathe through slow cars on a beautiful mountain pass that's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was dusk time as well. So it was just amazing to be going that fast with somebody leading with, so much, what's the word? Moving the everything apart for you just to keep on
parting
going.
The Red Sea.
Yeah. It was epic. So I really need to get back to that road and drive it in my car rather than an old banger of a car.
Well, and speaking of which, Andy, you may have noticed we're a Porsche podcast. We cover less of the Audi 100s, if I'm honest. Has there been a great drive in the fabulous 993?
I haven't been abroad in it yet, so really it's just been sort of local roads. It hasn't had the exercise with COVID and stuff like that. I got it just before COVID, really.
Hang on.
It's excuses.
I'm spotting another spike sort of situation here. It's like we've got this guy who's like volunteered himself onto the pod. We've already talked about 9 Works like 6 times. We're here to talk about fucking Porsche stories, and we're talking about a non-Porsche related story. Are you having a laugh?
Sorry, mate.
This is part of a conspiracy to bring us down, because people are going to start putting reviews on iTunes saying they don't just talk Porsches. Lately, they've been getting into Audis, ambulances, slagging off other podcasts.
Oh, such a boring.
But don't forget to tune in to 9 Works Radio.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good
Thank
lad.
you, James.
You're welcome.
Andy, just quickly, is there a trip planned with the 993?
Definitely something in the cards next year.
Yeah.
Not sure what it's going to be yet, but yeah, it will definitely be going abroad next year.
Amazing. How's it going? Because you've been doing a lot of wrenching on the car, right? You've sort of redone the suspension, all of those components, yeah.
Yeah, it's had a full strip off of all the suspension, all of the drive lines, so that's all back on. Well, it's been back on for sort of 4 or 5 months now. Got lots of good shakedown miles, and it's driving, really well now.
Amazing. Well, sir, thank you for coming on and telling us your story and shamelessly plugging all things Works Radio and Audi. It's been absolutely
pleasure.
And actually, just before we let you go, James, how are you feeling about Andy's garage there?
You know what? Considering how productive and effective the effort is that, he puts into that garage, it can be as messy as he likes. I mean, you use your garage basically to park 2 Porsches and to wash it every now and again. So you've got no excuse. He's actually putting time into valuable jobs. So I'm just fine with the state of his garage. I think it looks good. It looks like a grafter's garage.
Yeah, lost you there, James, for a couple of minutes. Hey, Andy, thanks so much for jumping on. It was tricky managing this with you over there in the UK, me in Australia, and James over there in the United States. But ace to chat to you, pal.
And you, good to see you both, and look forward to seeing you both soon.
Yeah, we'll do, mate.
All right, mate. Take care.
All right. Cheers now.
So how cool to chat to Andy?
What a nice guy.
I've had so many messages with him over the last few months, and we've never actually spoken.
Oh, really? Yeah. I think, I think that's the first time. Is it? No, because I've been on Works before. Have I? Or am I making that up? No, I've been on Road to. I just do what day is it and what is my name? No, so
listen to you. Yeah, I've been on Works.
No, I haven't.
I haven't. On Spike's Car Radio.
No. Get this. This is embarrassing. Well, it's not embarrassing. I was on Road to Redline. I was on Road to Redline with Andy and Lee and Joe before Road to Redline became Works Radio. And when it became Works Radio, I was like, oh, wow, awesome. They invited me to be on Road to Redline. I wonder when I'm going to get my invitation to go on Works Radio. I haven't had one.
Yeah, and to be fair, mate, I reckon it was probably a pretty slow week when they had you on Road to Redline. It's like a Monday morning. They're like, what are we going to talk about this week? James won't stop emailing me saying he wants to come on the show.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it was. But anyway.
So can I just say, for the rest of this pod, we cannot... We're just way too many plugs for those guys, honestly. They've done nothing to deserve it.
No. Yeah, but you see, that's just the thing that's just so annoying about those guys. They're just so nice, right?
No, they're not. No,
they're not.
They're our competition, mate. We're going to crush them.
No, I just, Lee Sibley's the man. Andy's the man. They're doing an absolutely great job.
Yeah.
All right, enough of that.
I love the addition of Max too. He's
yeah.
Anyway, all right. Yeah. So. Okay, so I'm gonna
we want people to listen to Curb and Canyon as well. So let's do some Curb and Canyoning on the Curb and Canyon podcast.
That's right. How do we do this again? Okay, so I'm going to read through some of the comments on Instagram, and let's stop and talk about them. So from and I'm going to apologize in advance for my pronunciation of certain people's handles. So Ducatian, Duke it. Yep. So sorry.
Seymour Butts.
I feel terrible. Being taken out in the FIA Middle East Rally winning Rothman's 911 SCRS as an 8-year-old.
Oh.
I mean, that's...
Game over.
Is that showing off a bit? Like, where do you go from there? That's amazing.
He just won life. That's amazing.
Literally. Retire. You're only 8 years old, but from there the only way is down. That's.
I'm looking at my list of. I'm looking at my list of 5 and I'm like, okay, I'm going to need to scratch that one. That's boring.
Yeah. Do you know what though? Because everyone always we talk with people about what was that moment where you became a car enthusiast. You got to figure as an 8-year-old that moment it would have been quite formative in terms of becoming a car enthusiast down the track. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think so. That's fantastic. What else do we got?
Petra and Gwen, the San Bernardino Pass on our honeymoon Euro road trip. This was my first proper Alpine pass, and it was even better than I had imagined. Or the drive between Spa and the Nürburgring earlier this year. Great roads and not much traffic. I was still buzzing from really pushing around Spa with nervous anticipation of a track day at the ring the following day. Come on. This is just people riding in their fantasy drives, isn't it? Like, you're going to talk about driving to the mall or Porsches and pancakes or something. We've got people driving between Spa and the Nürburgring. Like, come on.
Look, we're touching some pretty interesting people out there. All this is telling me, Andy, is that you and I are not so interesting. We're not so cool.
We've got to try a lot harder, don't we?
Oh my god! Can we come back to this episode in a couple of hours after I've rethought my top 5? Because right now they are so boring.
I'm just gonna start making them up. I'm just gonna start making them up. In fact, do you know what? Actually, I'm changing one right now.
You are.
I just thought of one I'd forgotten. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going.
Go on.
So James and 964. This is James. I know James. He's a local here. He's got a magnificent 964. It was once apparently out of the factory. It was mint. It was a mint color, and they couldn't sell it. So Porsche had it repainted. I don't know the exact color code. It's a light blue metallic, the same color as Sally from Cars. So under that light blue metallic paint, there is a mint 964. But it looks amazing in blue anyway. Here we go. Recent thrash to the top of Mount Borbor with a mate would be up there. 2 964s, a completely empty Mount Borbor road, and we drove it flat all the way. Brilliant.
I don't know where Mount Borbor is, but based on the use, but based on the use of the word thrash and just how that flowed off your tongue, I'm guessing that's an Australian listener.
Yeah, here we go. What? Why has it always got to turn into a bit of Aussie bashing? Yes, no, it is. So Mount Borbor is it's a small ski resort east of Melbourne, and I've only ever driven up there to go downhill mountain biking. There's a downhill mountain bike track there, but it's a tight, twisty road. I've got to say, it can be a little bit dicey in that it's often potholed. There's not really much of a shoulder, and you do get logging trucks coming the other way. But coincidentally, on the last Alpine Range rally, some of our group actually got lost and drove all the way to the top of Mount Borbor, which cost us, I don't know, an hour and a half. But they had one hell of a great day. Okay, so here's another local one. Philby 911. Oh, mate, Phil.
Who?
Great Ocean Road in Victoria, which is a sort of world-renowned road, incredible road, actually. But in a hot rod Datsun 1600.
A hot rod Datsun?
That sounds like a hoot. The hard thing about the Great Ocean Road, it is an incredible piece of tarmac with spectacular views, but you inevitably come upon tourists in a bus or a caravan. If you can get a traffic-free run, it would be amazing. So that's a good one, Phil. Now this one I love. My pal Gerard, aka About a Car on Instagram. 2014, Brisbane to Melbourne over 3 days with my wife, picking up the 964 and driving it for the first time. No better way to get to know a car than a cross-country road trip. No special roads, but a great road trip adventure. I like that one because it's not so much about the road, more about the experience. I think that's a cracker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. And that's also sort of more in my ballpark for my top 5. So I can relate. Yeah, I can relate.
Right, the next one comes from MD996, my buddy Matt. So this dude recently bought a 996. He's a great guy, and actually it's his first Porsche. And you should see this car. It's arena red, I think, which is such a cracking colour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Matt, how are you doing? Jamison Eildon Road in the 996, got to be one of the best in the country. It's actually in my top 5 I'm going to talk about later. Yeah, he's loving that road because it's local for him. He also talks about Mansfield-Whitfield Road, which is a classic road that unfortunately now has a reduced speed limit. And he mentions his Renault Clio there. So,
oh, good Lord.
Podcast.
I'm not entirely sure you've been very clear about these rules, the guidelines for this particular segment, because we've been talking about Datsun's frickin' Citroen Clio or whatever it was you just said. Anyway, all right, fair enough.
Listen,
let's get it.
Should we park this? Should we take this offline? Like next time you want to criticize me, should we just do it after the show? Let's provide each other some. Look, I'm open to the feedback. If it's constructive, I want to take it on board. But it's the public part of it.
Oh, Andy. Hang
on. I got a couple more to get through. There's heaps.
Oh, come on then.
VA to Pittsburgh. What's VA? Is that?
VA, Virginia. Yeah, Virginia to Pittsburgh. Okay. But that's like saying
through Deep Creek Lake, Maryland. Maryland.
That's like saying Western Australia to Melbourne. I mean, Virginia is massive. Anyway,
okay,
but that's nice part of the world.
Yeah, Deep Creek Lake, Maryland. Great roads, lots of wacky small towns and stores to stop at. Deep Creek Lake is beautiful. Sounds good.
Yeah, beautiful.
Nick Hansen, weekend at Porsche. 2018 road trip to Rensport across the western half of the United States. 3 air-cooled cars. We picked up the best roads as we moved west. It was epic.
Nice.
Flat 6 affair, too many to choose from, but how about the B500 Tambo River in my 996 chasing a bunch of Porsche mates up one of the best roads in Vic? Yeah, that Tambo River drive is one of my absolute all-time favourites, no doubt. Mike S, 1971. I guess that makes him about my age. Mid Wales E46 M3, the B4518. I assume that's a road. Awesome car, awesome road, just a great place to be. Had some great runs across Tassie in my 911 as well, but Wales is the best.
Can I just tell you, I'm like so sad that I am no longer in the UK in this stage of my life when I'm driving 911s. Oh my God,
dude.
Because,
can you imagine?
It's like Wales. Wales is absolutely beautiful as a part of the British Isles as a country. The roads there are phenomenal. I would kill to get back in there in the 911.
Yeah,
Scotland,
I just feel like
every
time someone says Wales or Scotland, I just imagine, a cover of Evo magazine and I just want to go drive those roads.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, a couple more, nearly there. Stone City Outlaw, great question. I have a few. Drive around the island of Oahu. Okay, cool. Pacific Coast Highway, classic. Kern Canyon Road in California. Hiawatha Pioneer Trail in Illinois, USA. Okay, that sounds cool. I don't know. I have no idea just to even say you're driving the Hiawatha Pioneer Trail. That's got to be a good road. It just sounds like a good road to me.
Well, I think it's Hiawatha, but you wouldn't know that because it's a Midwestern thing.
I think the correct pronunciation is Hiawatha. Having never read that word out loud before, I'm pretty sure I'm right.
I know. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I appreciate the public correction. And then the lovely Tom, who has an amazing Slate Grey 964, Tom JVW. Tom, I'm sorry, I'm sure I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Jebel J, help me, is right up there.
Help you? I can't see your notes. I'm going to reinterpret what you just said. Jezebel? I don't know. I have no idea.
It's not Jezebel. It's Jebel. Jebel. Oh, man, I should have researched this beforehand.
Oh, God.
Also done the PCH from San Fran to LA in the 9642 and can confirm it should be on the list.
Are we done? God.
I'm sorry you haven't got time to hear from our highly engaged listeners.
I feel like Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes, like, we're still here.
Seriously.
Almost done. Let's get on with it.
Want to be involved with us, man? Come on.
I love it. No, but that's all really fascinating. And now we're gonna completely burst everybody's balloon by talking about our bullshit adventures, which are probably nothing in comparison to I've been, driving around the Middle East in the F1 ring or whatever it was.
Probably not, but I do just want to say thank you to everyone for commenting. That was ace. It was a little bit when we put that out there on Instagram. I kind of felt a little bit like when I was young and I didn't want to have a birthday party because I was worried nobody would show up. It was great to have you guys responding. So thank you. All right, James, let's go. What's your number 5?
Oh, I don't want to say now. Honestly, my number 5. So there was a Porsche and Pancakes group drive that we did a couple of years ago. And early morning, the sun was like shining at a certain angle. And as I was driving across this one stretch of bridge for about half a mile, I could see the silhouette of my 911 just sort of sitting perfectly next to me. And I took a photo of it. That's one of my top 5 driving moments.
You'll wake me when you're done, right?
I'm crying.
So I just nodded off there.
I'm literally sitting there crying. My top 5 are going to be so lame.
Okay, so hold on. As much as I want to take the opportunity to just give you so much shit about this, I think it's actually a really good point, right? Like, this wasn't about what is the best road you've ever driven. I've heard, Jerry Seinfeld talk about a great drive is about, the car, the road, the day, and you. And sometimes it's just a moment where you think to yourself, man, how good is this? And it can be that thing of, I know exactly the moment you're talking about where you see the silhouette of your car as a shadow. That can be an awesome, awesome moment. So, yay you, James. Well done.
Well done, son.
All right. So, do you know what? I kind of realize with my top 5, I'm not sure they're in order. So I'll just kind of say them in order that I've written them. I'm not sure this is my number 5. The first time I ever drove Reefton Spur.
Hold on.
What?
I feel like we need to continue apologizing to the listeners because we've now gone from an inconsistent definition of what we're talking about to I'm not even sure if this top 5 is in order. Right. But yeah, let's do it. Go for it. Number 5.
Okay. All right. Number 5. First time driving Reefton Spur with other people. I've talked about this road before. It's an incredible road east of Melbourne. And I was invited out on a drive. I was so excited. It was a Sunday morning. And this dude, Lucas, messages me on Instagram and says, hey, I'm having a drive in the morning. Do you want to come? And Luke was he's sort of known around the place. He was kind of a big deal in the local Porsche scene. I couldn't believe he asked me to come on a drive. And I remember driving up Reefton Spur, and it was the first time I met my pal Rocco, and he was in front of me in his Cayman, and I thought I knew how to drive, and suddenly I was trying to keep up with him, and I thought, oh, wow, you can go around corners this quick? That was just mind-blowing to me and really kind of set the expectation of what these cars can do. I didn't get any photos of the silhouette of the car, though.
Well, actually, let's go to my number 4 then, because that's very similar. Kind of in a way. It wasn't until I went to the Tail of the Dragon with my second 911, which is the black 997, where after a couple of turns, after a couple of trips up and down the Tail of the Dragon, it really sort of clicked into place for me just what these cars are capable of. And I've been driving I've been driving 911s for 2 or 3 years at that point, and that was the first time I really understood, got that kind of like real clear perspective. This is what this car is capable of, and now I understand why it's designed the way it is, and why the seats are crafted the way they are, and every single thing in the cabin is there for a reason to help you keep that car on the road and be in control of it, and best line of sight. And I was just absolutely blown away at that point, where I got to that point and realized, okay, wow, this is an incredible driving experience, and this is what it's like to drive a 911.
See, there you go. That's a great story.
Well, thanks. Yeah, there you go. That was my number 4.
Well done.
Thank you.
Good on you. All right, my number 4 is Alpine Range, coincidentally, Alpine Range Rally number 4, day 2. So Alpine Range Rally 4, I'd been told 2 days prior, I had my 964 in for a wheel alignment and was told that there was a problem with one of the KW shocks. So I decided to take the 991. I was lucky enough to have 2 911s at the time. And on day 1, the 991 shut itself. It halfway through the day, it had a problem where it went into limp home mode, basically. So I had to leave the group and drive home, limp home, I was a couple of 100 kilometers from home. I was really concerned the car wouldn't actually make it, but it did make it. I called my mechanic, Stu, who offered to come over that night and check over the 964 and actually determine if there was any real problem with the suspension or not, which he did. He came to my house, I was super grateful for. And he said, mate, I don't know what these guys are talking about. The suspension is fine. The car is fine. So on day 2 of the rally, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, drove a couple of 100 kilometers east, straight down the highway to a little town called Bairnsdale to meet all my mates who were about to start day 2 of that Alpine Range Rally. Yeah, and the first road we hit is that Tambo River Road that Al had mentioned in his Instagram post. And I remember just thinking, I couldn't believe how lucky I was that I was back there. I'd been so miserable the day before and felt so let down that I'd organised this rally and I couldn't even participate. To suddenly the next day I'm back. I'm in the 964. It was just, it was one of those moments where you feel really grateful for the opportunity you've got. So that's a definite standout for me.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right. So did I go first? Number 3.
Yeah.
I think it'd probably be actually the day I picked up my first 911 in Brea, California, and the excitement. I mean, just the whole thing of knowing that I'd picked out this car. It was my first ever 911. I hadn't actually driven a 911 before that. I'd never taken one out on a test drive.
Right.
I knew I wanted one.
So hold on. So you bought one, you'd never driven one. So your first time driving it is the car you've just bought.
Yeah.
Unreal.
I would have just flown home if it had been a Junker, or a Lemon.
Yeah.
And so I guess, I've taken a little bit of a leap of faith, but the company, I did loads of research. The company I bought it for, great reputation, loads of great reviews, managed to find a couple of people in Facebook groups that had bought from them before and, gave them the thumbs up. So I felt like it wasn't too much of a gamble. I think, it was the lowest mileage 911 I've had. I think it had like 25,000 miles on it, even though it was a 2002. Service history, all of that good stuff. But the sort of the night before, the excitement, knowing that I was going to take an Uber to get out there to Brea, just outside of LA, maybe about 50 miles outside of LA. Picking up the car, took it for a test drive. I don't even really remember the test drive. Isn't that funny? Like first crank of the ignition and driving it around the block with the sales guy. But it was after I took the keys and maybe got like 100 miles down the road towards Vegas, and I started just appreciating where I was in the car, in my dream car.
Yep.
I'd finally gotten hold of a 911. Never thought that would happen. And I'm not driving down some average back road to the mall, like you're expecting I'm going to talk about. I was actually in the middle of the desert, with this incredible landscape. And I had no idea if this car was going to blow up on me or not, so there's a fear factor in there as well. But yeah, that was just incredible. And that entire trip, actually, all the way back, I still look at the photos from that, and it was the first time I went through that part of Utah and Wyoming and South Dakota. Yeah. And so I got a real kind of adventure out of it, as well as the fact that I was picking up my first car. So that's pretty mega.
Do you know what? I just realized listening to that whole story, I just had the biggest smile on my face hearing it. That just sounds unreal.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Number 3 for you.
All right, number 3 for me. Earlier this year, I've actually talked about it on the pod. We drove. There's a great road near us called Eildon Jamison Road. It's highly technical and long. It's so long, and we had a drive out that way on a Sunday morning. And at the start of that run, I was chasing a 992 GT3 in gentian blue. It's such a beautiful spec GT3. Which was ace. And then we stop at this lookout. There's a great lookout. And I'd driven the car, my 964, really hard on that run. And so coming back, we then came back on the same stretch of road. I said, do you know what? I'm going to take it a little bit easy coming back. So if anybody wants to get past me, jump past. So my mate Fraz, who I bought the 964 from, who has a 996 turbo, or did have, he came past me and sort of took off. And I don't know what happened to my idea of just taking it easy on the way back, but it just vanished. And I decided I wanted to stick with him in his 996 turbo, highly modified. And my pal Anthony was behind me. And we just had this run where everything about the car, it felt like a go-kart. It felt like I could just throw it. I could do whatever I wanted with it. It just was communicating to me. And just there are a couple of moments where I thought, I'm keeping up with a 996 turbo and Fraz isn't slow. And I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. And I just knew that there was something special about the way the car and me were in sync that day. I don't think I've ever driven that hard before. And, when I say driving hard, we were staying on the right side of the road. We weren't doing anything silly. But it was just, I think what I love about that moment is how connected I felt to the car that day. It just felt amazing.
Yeah. That's tremendous. Isn't it amazing the sort of the emotional relationship that you can have with an inanimate object?
Oh, yeah, man. So much so.
I mean, people do it with cars or golf clubs or pianos, any kind of object. But that really fascinates me, actually, that a biological human being with a consciousness can feel that attached to something like a hunk of metal that drives from A to B. Love it.
Yeah, and it's also because I think there's a relationship there, and because, like all relationships, sometimes it doesn't work as well. Sometimes you're like, this thing feels terrible today. It's just doesn't work. And then some days it does everything works.
Yeah, totally. So for my number 2, it's a little bit sappy, but I feel like it wouldn't be fair to talk about the things I love most about driving in cars without talking about this, which is the friendships that have come along with owning the cars. And we've talked about this on a couple of other different from pods on Auto Amateur and Curb and Canyon before, I think. But I think about my car and I get excited, and I think about, what my next car might be. And, I get excited about that and the road trips I've done. But I also get a lot of kind of peace and comfort and inspiration and joy from just thinking about the friendships that I've made through owning these cars. And like, whether it's you or it's my friend Chris or Jay Reed, Patrick, I could name more and more and more names. But guys that I've only come across in the last couple of years, but I feel like I've sort of known all my life in many respects. That's really special to me. And there are a lot of times when I'm out driving and I think, oh, that reminds me, I'm going to tell Andy about that. Or, oh, look, I just saw something. Yeah. I've got to tell Chris about that. I love it. That's really special to me.
It's such a great point, and I'm glad you brought it up because I hadn't thought about it. But it is, I've had, when I bought this car, I didn't actually expect that it would have any impact on me socially. I thought I'm just going to have this great car and it's going to be something I really like to drive, and that's it. And because the other thing is, if you've been outside of the universe of Porsche, you have perhaps a perception of the types of people you're going to meet when you have a Porsche, other Porsche owners, what they're going to be like, and that's not always necessarily a positive perception. And whilst I have come across some of those, let's call them stereotypical Porsche owners, I've met so many amazing people, and I've struck up relationships via social media with people who, I communicate with a lot and would say, yeah, you're more than an acquaintance. I've never met you. I mean, God, mate, look at you. You and I are great mates and we've never met. Which is hilarious. And then we're like pen pals. And then, I look at my friends who I drive with, and they're just the best bunch of people ever. And there have been moments where we've been out on drives and, someone's come on the radio and just said, how good is this? And it's not necessarily that it's the most amazing piece of road. It's just that you're all enjoying this moment together. You're all kind of, brought together in this moment of sort of communal amazement at what you're able to do together. It's just ace. I love it.
That's wicked. That's
so
really
that is
wicked.
Not sappy at all.
Well, I'm glad that you've equaled on the sap factor there and joined in. So that's fantastic. Yeah. So my number one.
Hold on, I haven't said my number two.
Oh, you haven't? Yeah, you did. No, that was your number two.
That wasn't. I was just agreeing with you. Just trying to build.
Oh no, you're right. Oh, you're totally right. You're totally right. This is where if we were doing a drinking game, this is where I'd be like forcing you to go and buy a second round. Like, it's not my round. All right, okay, let's have it.
So number two and number one were a real toss up for me. After the show, I might say this is my number one, but right now I'll say it's my number two. When I went to Luft 6 at Universal Studios, the day after Luft, the Sunday, I got on Turo, hired a 991.1 Carrera, and we drove the Angeles Crest Highway. And
wow.
And actually some of the ACH was closed, so we had to take Upper Big T, which is the road that Matt Farah always uses for his road tests. And those roads are just so incredible. Gosh, if you live in LA, you're just so lucky to have access to those kind of roads. They're just spectacular and great visibility. Look, it's interesting that I can see why you would want a modern, fast 911 to drive those roads. They're big, high-speed roads. They're not super tight and technical like what I typically drive here. But it was amazing. And then we get to Newcomb's Ranch. We have, your classic American diner-style breakfast. I just felt like I was living that whole experience. We bumped into Jay Leno, and then unfortunately,
amazing.
Dude, and then we drove up the road and I got a flat tire. And then my day took quite the turn, and it 8 hours waiting for a tow truck, and I was flying out of LA that night. And the tow truck couldn't find us, and we were well stranded. And finally, we had to. My mate Cale, who was in an Audi R8 that he'd hired on Turo, we had to drive back down to the bottom of ACH, which is like 50 kilometers. It's a long way. To La Cañada Flint Ridge to find the tow truck driver so that I could then get in the tow truck with him, drive to the top of the hill again, find the 911. And I didn't even have time to go with it. I just put it on the tow truck, got in Cale's Audi and hammered off down the road, trying to make it to the airport in time to get my flight home. So it was an incredible adventure, and happy to say that the car did make its way safely back to its owner, thankfully. But it was incredible. I couldn't believe how good that road was. Wow, just amazing.
Yeah. Wow, you got the highs and the lows out of that day.
Yeah, we did.
The highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. Wow.
Yeah, facts. All right, come on, number one.
Well, so I think this counts, especially because you talked about a car just then, which you rented and it didn't belong to you. But I think my number one experience with a Porsche is when I borrowed my friend Milan's 991.1 GT3. Because the GT3 is the 911 that I want, I think. Short of maybe the GT3 Touring. But the Touring hadn't been released at that stage. He wanted me to put in Joy Auto and a backup camera like I did for my 991. So he took my car for a weekend. I took his GT3 for the weekend. And he was like, hey, just keep hold of it for a couple of days if you like. If you want to go take it out and drive, make a video, do whatever you want to do. I'm in no rush to get it back. Yeah. And I think actually he sold that car pretty quickly after that. And I think the lack of connection to that car, I think, on his part, because he's now gone for a 992 turbo, moved on like 3 cars since then. I think his lack of connection to that car kind of gave me space to build a connection with that car without feeling like I was cheating on his missus.
Yeah.
For the 2 or 3 days that I had that car, I cleaned it. I took some photos of it. Outside the house, inside the house. I made a video about it. I was so sort of focused on the work as I was removing the head unit and making sure I did the best possible job I could and treated it like it was my own car. That whole kind of experience, it was like a love affair with a stranger. Over a couple of days.
Torrid weekend with the GT3.
Oh my, yeah, like cheating on my own 991 that was never going to get that much love and attention from me ever again. At that point, but not just that. It was the fact that it was the GT3, and just looking back 2 or 3 years, thinking that I was never going to find an experience to top the one of picking up my first 911. Which, as a lifelong 911 enthusiast, you got to think that's got to be pretty hard to top. But having the GT3 in my own hands, being able to drive it, locking it away for a couple of nights in my own garage, coming down in the morning to see it there, I think that's the only experience so far that has really surpassed that moment of picking up my first 911. And it was magical. And when I gave that car back to Milan, I was kind of a little bit heartbroken. They were some of the happiest days that I've ever spent with a car.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I love it. And that car will have a special part, a special place in my spank bank on my phone for the rest of my life. I was going to say special place in my heart, but it's a special place in my spank bank on my phone.
Yeah, why are you going to take it someplace weird?
All right, number 1, Andy Gorns.
All right, cool. So a couple of quick honourable mentions. Al chasing me on Happy Valley Road on the last rally after we both stopped to take photos and footage. Gerard chasing me up Toowoomba Gap Road a few rallies ago. He had a passenger in the car and we were belting the cars that day. I think it was the first rally we ever did. Just this moment where I was right at the back of the group and looking at 12 cars just snaking along in front of me along this twisty road and just thinking, holy hell, look at all these Porsches. This is incredible.
Yeah.
But number 1 for me, maybe it's just because it's really recent memory. I drove the 964 into work, and I don't think I've talked about this on the pod. I don't think so. I drove it in and on a Monday, and then decided to leave work early and just head home and work at home, but ended up taking a massive long cut and drove most of the roads that I would typically drive on a Sunday morning. And it was a Monday afternoon, the sun was out, there was nobody on the roads. I could go at my own pace. I could drive hard where I wanted to, but also slow it down if I wanted to, because I wasn't worried about other drivers behind me and them wanting to go quicker than me. And I think just the fact that it was an unexpected drive, that it was a drive where, everybody else is at work. A Sunday morning drive can be so great, but sometimes the drive doesn't meet the anticipation. It doesn't live up to the hype. You're so excited to get out and drive on a Sunday morning, but then the weather's not that nice, or you feel kind of tired, or for all sorts of reasons, it just doesn't quite deliver. Whereas this was such an experience out of the blue. And I just had so many moments on this drive, it wasn't that long, where I just thought, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I get to do this. This is just, how lucky am I? And how good is this car? And how good is this day? It was just, I don't know, it's just a really special drive where I actually made sure I took the moments, I took the opportunities to be thankful for it and really, really take it in. And yeah, it's why it's just sitting there as a really positive one for me. So is my current number one.
Very nice, very nice. After a little bit of panic, having heard all of those fantastic ones from our listeners, I'm quite happy with our top 5.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that's quite rewarding.
What I did, and I'll give you some feedback on yours offline, off air, because that's how I play it. I don't want to criticize you in front of our listeners. That's just me, though.
Oh my God! I tell you what, between the tears coming out of my eyes, my jaw and my sides, I am in agony after this one. Oh, what a ride. What a ride. There you go. No pun intended.
Well, I think that's a pod. That's a long pod. I think that's the longest one we've done.
I think it might be. We haven't. Yeah, no, that is. Well, thank you everybody for hanging in there with us. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed our top 5 and listening to other people's, and also Andy from Let's Do One More Plug, Werks Radio. Good job, Andy.
Yeah, Andy, thanks for coming on. And yeah, guys, I just want to say as well, thank you so much for the interaction on Instagram. It's been brilliant. We'll do more of these things with you because I think they're a lot of fun, right?
Absolutely. I really enjoyed this format. Now, you've got a couple of days counting down for Tassie. I'm desperately trying to get some auto amateur videos edited that I've shot over the last month, but haven't had a chance to put out yet. Anything else exciting coming up for you this week, Porsche-wise?
No, my 964's in for a major service, so that'll be interesting. And with Tassie prep, it's just so nice having a car that, with the GT4, where I don't have to be frantically racing to get the car ready. It's just ready. All I need to do is fill the tank and make sure the tires are pumped up. Happy days. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I hope you don't blend into the crowd too much there with your fellow GT4 owners.
Yeah, and mine's black as well. See, Kale's showing up. He's got a yellow one, so he's going to be the nice bright colour that everyone will see.
Good lad.
Disappointing. Anyway, hey, James, thanks for today. Thank you, everybody, for listening. My name is Andy. You can find me at Last Rasp on Instagram and occasionally YouTube. James, where can we see you?
Auto Amateur all over the show. Good to see you guys. Thanks so much. Catch you in the next one.
See you on the next one, guys.